This evening, Guyana Police Force launches an initiative to protect citizens over the Christmas season. Missing Grove man found afloat in Anna Catherina. Guyanese drug fugitive captured in Dominican Republic, extradited to the U.S. In the region, Colombia's President Gustavo Petro marks 100 days in office. And internationally, NATO says deadly blast in Poland likely caused by Ukraine. Welcome to another broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. A Guyanese drug fugitive wanted in the United States has been apprehended in the Dominican Republic. Dennis Edwards, also known as Death, was subsequently extradited to the U.S. According to U.S. Attorney Philip Selinger, he was arraigned on charges of drug conspiracy on Tuesday, November 14, 2022. The conspiracy to import 5 kilograms or more of cocaine from St. Martin into the United States has been alleged in an indictment handed down in 2012 against Edwards. Edwards appeared before U.S. Magistrate Judge Edward S. Cale in a federal courthouse in Newark and was detained without bail, according to the U.S. Attorney Office for the District of New Jersey of the Department of Justice. According to court testimony and documents submitted in this case, Edwards was a participant in a criminal conspiracy that organized the importation of cocaine into the United States. Edwards was deported on Tuesday from the Dominican Republic and was apprehended upon his arrival at Newark Liberty International Airport. The maximum penalty for the conspiracy charge against Edwards is life in prison with a minimum sentence of 10 years and a maximum fine of $10 million. Edwards' arrest was made possible in large by part of the Office of International Affairs of the Justice Department. The Dominican Republic authorities were also thanked for their support by the U.S. Attorney Selinger. Over the past 10 years, U.S. and local officials had been keeping close tabs on Edwards. The Guyana Police Force is implementing several initiatives for the upcoming holiday season in an effort to create a safer environment for citizens with the force's Christmas policing program, which runs until January 15, 2023. This was announced during the Guyana Police Force's Christmas policing presentation hosted at the Police Officers' Mess Ivlery on Tuesday. The aim is to protect citizens as commercial activities are expected to increase during the holidays. Commissioner of Police Acting Clifton Hickins called for cooperation and support from the public to ensure the program's successful implementation. Some of the initiatives being implemented will see foot, traffic, static, anti-crime, and vehicular patrols being deployed during a 24-hour period at hotspots areas across the country to mitigate crime and improve traffic flow. The Guyana Police Force will be highlighting its presence with the construction of police booths in highly trafficked areas across Guyana. Police officers will also be conducting community engagements to inform citizens on how to protect their valuables during this time. Additionally, the police force will be collaborating with joint services to provide enhanced security. Meanwhile, Hickins also urged citizens to be responsible during the holidays. The partially decomposed body of a 55-year-old man who dived into the Demerara River to avoid being apprehended by police authorities was found a region away the next day. Mohan Mahadio of Grove, East Bank, Demerara, was last seen at Grove Sedam on Monday around 10 a.m. in a foot chase with officers. However, around 4:40 p.m. on Tuesday, an unknown caller contacted the Lenora police station and reported that a partially decomposed body was seen floating next to Anna Catherina seawalls on the west coast of Demerara. Subsequently, relatives confirmed that the body found was that of Mahadio. According to reports, Mahadio worked at his in-law's supermarket in Grove on the day of the incident and was raising a commotion outside the establishment, prompting authorities to intervene. According to the man's niece, Mohan may have gotten concerned that he might be detained and fled the area, prompting the officers to give chase. Mohan then jumped into the Demerara River in an attempt to get away from the police. Mohan's family feared the worst and were hoping for his safe return home. His body is presently lying in the Ezekiel Funeral Home awaiting a post-mortem examination. Stick around after the break. $28.7 million fire station inaugurated in Mahika Berbice, and man was fatally stabbed at La Parfait Harmony's policeman's corner.
Give your home or office some shine. Fortune Investment Company. We provide reliable commercial and residential professional cleaning services in Guyana. We clean homes and commercial offices. Other services offered are floor care and tile polishing, interior auto detailing services, power washing, weeding and cleaning, and carpet, couch, and mattress cleaning. We are committed to keeping your homes and offices squeaky clean. Call us now at 592-689-7558 or 592-639-6365 or visit us at 3430 Jackson North Rumville, Georgetown, Guyana. Fortune Investment Company. When we say clean, we mean spotless.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our stores, you're welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries, and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. However, Maison Francois is more than just chocolate. We serve lunch, dinner, afternoon tea, and even Sunday morning mimosa brunch. Our convenient location at 133 Thomas Street, Kitty, makes it the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. Treat yourself with the taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown. Only at Maison Francois.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. On Monday, a $28.7 million fire station was commissioned at Dominica Republic and the emergency medical services extended to the region. Region 5 is the first region where the EMS has extended its services and will provide medical care to patients while transporting them to the medical institution. The fire station is expected to boost the operations of the Guyana Fire Service in the region. Minister of Home Affairs Robertson Ben said the extension of the services is significant since the country is on a developmental trajectory. By the end of 2022 or early next year, the EMS will be extended to Region 3.
Ultimately, we would like to see this type of footprint where you have fire service, emergency medical response teams, and also life-saving industrial type response teams in the country, all over the country, because we have to pay attention to the new challenges we have in our development.
This is also important given the number of reported road accidents, the Home Affairs Minister pointed out. Chief Fire Officer Gregory Wickham implored residents of Region 5 to make use of the services that are available to them. Persons can access these services by dialing 912. Detectives are investigating the murder of a 32-year-old man at Policeman Corner, Le Parfait, Harmony on Tuesday, November 15, 2022. Dead is Sherwin Underwood of Le Parfait, Harmony, West Bank, Demerara, who was allegedly murdered by a 29-year-old man who has since admitted to the fatal stabbing during a fight. Reports indicate that the men were at Policeman Corner in Bybin when they had a misunderstanding over marijuana that Underwood was using because the suspect said it was bushweed. As a result, the suspect dealt Underwood a punch to the side of his head and a fight ensued. During the fight, the suspect whipped out a knife and dealt the 32-year-old man a single stab to his abdomen. After being stabbed, Underwood ran a short distance away before he collapsed. He was picked up in a conscious state by public-spirited citizens and rushed to the West Demerara Regional Hospital, where he later succumbed to his injuries. The suspect, who made good his escape from the scene, was later arrested and escorted to the Parfait Harmony police station, where he gave a video-recorded statement under caution admitting to the crime. The body of the deceased is presently at the Ezekiel Funeral Home awaiting a post-mortem examination as investigations continue. Don't go away after the break. NATO says deadly blast in Poland likely caused by Ukraine, and Colombia's President Gustavo Petro marks 100 days in office.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Give your home or office some shine. Fortune Investment Company. We provide reliable commercial and residential professional cleaning services in Guyana. We clean homes and commercial offices. Other services offered are floor care and tile polishing, interior auto detailing services, power washing, weeding and cleaning, and carpet, couch, and mattress cleaning. We are committed to keeping your homes and offices squeaky clean. Call us now at 592-689-7558 or 592-639-6365 or visit us at 3430 Jackson North Rumville, Georgetown, Guyana. Fortune Investment Company. When we say clean, we mean spotless.
Hey, this is your fancy vehicle and it's your house?
Yes, this is my vehicle and actually I'm waiting on my land. I'm actually renting this house for $50,000.
$50,000? You head more? You crazy? You mad? You head no good? Why you buy? Look, let me show you the light. Come with me.
Come on down to Fabulous Homes today. Pay $50,000 every month for 36 months or until you reach 50% of your house costs. Move in after 75% of the cost has been paid.
This is wonderful. Let's go. Sign me up.
Alright, let me go and dash away your landlord.
To explore our home ownership program, check our Facebook page for more information or come down to our office at Avalon Friendship.
Hey, Chinese, thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
You got through?
Yes.
Call us at 227-1380 or 615-8740. Fabulous Homes International Realty, changing tenants into homeowners.
At Fabulous Homes, we bring your dreams to life.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Colombia's first left-wing president, Gustavo Petro, has marked his first 100 days in office. He promised to narrow economic disparities, but soaring inflation and a fiscal deficit have hobbled his ambitious plans. Still, his poll ratings remain higher than his predecessors. Al Jazeera's Alessandro Rampietti reports.
Supporters of Gustavo Petro marched through Bogotá to mark 100 days of the country's first ever leftist president. Some of Petro's loftier ambitions have been quietly dialed back as the government faces the realities of soaring inflation and a gaping fiscal deficit. But for those here, Petro's promise of change remains intact.
We're very happy with what has been accomplished in these 100 days. He is trying to fulfill what he has proposed. Obviously, some things need to be revised, but we remain steadfast that change can be achieved.
To ensure governability and try to assuage market fears, Petro has managed to build a broad coalition in Congress with the traditional parties he often criticized. A strategy that allowed him to pass a $20 billion fiscal bill, raising taxes on fossil fuels and the rich to finance social programs. He's also instituted a total peace law to start negotiations with all remaining guerrilla and paramilitary groups in the country, and an unprecedented deal with Colombia's powerful cattle ranching association to buy 3 million hectares of land to redistribute to poor farmers. In a press conference on Wednesday surrounded by his cabinet, Petro presented a list of 50 achievements he says point towards greater political and social justice.
Politics today are not divided by left and right. The division is among policies that empower life and those that extinguish it.
On foreign policy, he has spearheaded an international campaign to change drug policy and fight climate change, while also restarting relations with neighboring Venezuela after years of tension. But his government also faces growing criticism on his economic messaging. His ministers making contradictory announcements about ending oil and gas exploration, which many observers blame for the fall of the local currency, the peso, against the dollar.
Petro is doing the job that he was elected to do. He did campaign for changes and he is proposing new ideas. What I don't like is his government's announcements on the economy and how they intend to manage the economy. They change every day. The government's policies on the oil sector, on new contracts, on exploration have caused the markets to whirlwind.
But despite these missteps, Petro's approval ratings remain strong, with half the country supporting his administration in polls. That's 20 points higher than his predecessor at this point, which means Petro still has a large political capital to spend as he tries to advance in transforming one of the most unequal countries on earth. Alessandro Rampietti, Al Jazeera, Bogotá.
NATO and Poland have dismissed Ukrainian accusations that Russia carried out a missile strike on a Polish village. They say the rocket that killed 2 people was likely fired by Ukraine's air defense missile system. Al Jazeera's Jonah Hall reports.
This missile's trajectory had the potential to affect the course of the conflict as a whole. The war in Ukraine seeming to spill over onto neighbouring territory, Polish territory, NATO territory. This witness personally knew both of the men who were killed.
I ran over to the window because it was pretty close, 100 meters. I saw this monstrous black cloud and a streak of terrible smoke.
On the other side of the world in Bali, leaders of the G7 and NATO nations convened an emergency meeting. A missile attack on one NATO country could trigger a collective response from the whole alliance, but afterwards the US president remained cautious.
It's unlikely in the minds of the trajectory that it was fired from Russia, but we'll see. We'll see.
Tuesday had seen one of the most intense Russian missile bombardments of the entire war. Scores of missiles hitting multiple Ukrainian civilian infrastructure targets, leaving entire towns and villages without power. Ukraine's air defences in turn launching dozens of their own missiles to try to shoot them down. And that's why President Biden and NATO allies are being so careful. Photos of the missile debris in Poland suggest it came from an S-300 air defence system, Russian-made, but used by Ukrainian forces. And as an investigation by Poland and its NATO allies continues, the Polish president has admitted the likelihood of what he describes as an unfortunate accident. President Andrzej Duda saying it is highly probable the missile was in fact fired by Ukrainian air defense. Moscow is denying any involvement and accused Poland of reacting hysterically to the incident, and Russia has some support, even from one NATO member.
I have to respect the statements made by Russia. It's significant for us that Russia says they have nothing to do with this.
A security cordon has been thrown around the site of the missile strike, police preventing media from getting within half a mile of the area. Ukraine and its Western allies now insist that no matter who fired the missile, the death and destruction here wouldn't have occurred but for Russia's invasion of Ukraine. NATO ambassadors have met in Brussels. Air defence and the deployment of more military hardware to the Polish border high on the agenda. Russian or not, the missile that hit Poland has ratcheted up the tension and greatly increased the risk of escalation. Jonah Hull, Al Jazeera, Kyiv.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now to 3 weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2's Headline News Update. Tune in on Thursday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.